Hello everyone, my name is Oriana, and today I'm going to present my final lesson plan for the subject Teaching and Learning English for Young Learners. So let's get started. But before we continue with the presentation, I would like to introduce some information about the background of my lesson plan. And I divide you in some points. These points are related to, first of all, the institution, which is UV, Universidad Veracruzana. The approach that I decided to implement in this lesson plan is the competency-based approach. The type of intelligences involved in the learning in this lesson plan is visual, logical, and verbal linguistic. The level is beginners, specifically A1, young learners, and the age is between 8 and 10 years old. And the time of the class it's around 60 or 65 minutes. The number of students is 12, and the general objective is that at the end of the class, the students will understand and identify some types of profession and jobs. Okay, I decided to divide my lesson plan in 5 points. First of all, the warm-up. Secondly, the leading. The third part is the vocabulary part. The fourth part is the practice, and finally, reviewing the knowledge and the wrap-up, in which we close the entire class. So, first of all, with the warm-up, it consists on identifying and discussing about this topic, which is professions and jobs. So students don't really know about it. They had an idea, but as a teacher we have to introduce the topic indirectly. So in this part, students will receive the information. For this first activity, as a teacher, I decide to introduce a conversation and try to that students get interest about the topic, and this will be with the help of a quick and easy conversation like hello everyone, how are you? Today we're gonna talk about a very fun topic, but first of all I would like to know, what would you like to do when you grow up? So students can imagine and try to think about some jobs or professions. So that's the point of the first activity. The type of materials that I'm going to use in the case of the class will be in online class or face-to-face. In case of its online class, I will use Zoom or some reactions and the Zoom platform basically. And face-to-face, I just use some my teacher, my voice to call action. The possible problems might be the internet, the internet connections, technical issues, or even the student's mood. Okay, here we have some information and descriptions about it. Okay, the next step about my lesson plan is the leading. The main objective of this activity is that the students recognize and reflect about this type of professions and jobs, and is in this part in which students respond to the previous information. For this activity, I divide it into cases, only online classes or face-to-face classes. In online classes, students have to guess the profession with the help of a video. In this video, we're gonna present some pictures related to a profession. For example, I don't know, maybe some vegetables, a truck, or some animals. So making a relationship between these 3 pictures, they have to guess the profession. For example, if these 3 pictures are related to a farm, so the profession is a farmer. And basically in face-to-face it's exactly the same, but because it's a physical class, as a teacher I pretend to use some flashcards with the 3 pictures, so just to use the 3 cards and show them so they can guess. It's basically the same but in a different way. Yeah, and here we have in the online class the video. And some problems in online classes might be the internet connection, the student's mood, or technical issues. Face-to-face basically would be the student's mood or student distraction. Okay, and here we have some descriptions about that I have already talked about. Okay, the third part, it's about the vocabulary. Now that we are recognize and introduce the vocabulary, is in this part in which students will compare and validating that information. Okay, so if we divide these two activities in online and face-to-face class. In the online class, I pretend to that students make a relationship between words and pictures with an interactive puzzle game, and yeah, this is with the help of a word wall game. So they have to pick one card, and if they find a farmer, they have to find the word in another card. But this is more interactive form because it's in a remote class. However, if the class is face-to-face, students will be the same activity, but it's more physical. So as a teacher, I have to prepare the material, the physical material, to use it in the class. It's in this part in which the classroom management is very, very important, because in this part I have to order the students maybe in a horseshoe form or in a circle form. And the possible problems might be, as well as I told you, the online classes, the student's mood, technical issues, or if it's face-to-face, might be the student's mood or the student's distraction. Okay. The next part, the fourth part, is the practice. It's in this part in which students will categorize or organize the information that we have already checked previously. If we divide this activity into form, online and face-to-face class, is in this part in which students will organize and ordering words with the help of scrambled words. The same. If it's in online class, I will prepare a game in a word wall, or even another platform which help me to do this activity. So I'm gonna put in this order some words related to that, and they have to order, sorry, some letters. So they have to reorder with the intention that they transform the word behind of that disordered words. For example, if I want to put farmer, the word farmer will be in disorder. So basically, based on the previous knowledge that we check in the warm-up, in the vocabulary part, and in the leading, they will transform and understand that the word is farmer. So this is basically in face-to-face, but in this case it's more physically. And finally, here we have the review the knowledge. It's in this part in which students manage in solving the knowledge. So for this part, I pretend to use some interactive games, like a quizzes game, or even a quiz in a physical form, like in a worksheet. Is in this part in which students will pretend to characterize all the information, and if we divide this information in online class or face-to-face, they will use a quiz interactive game in a platform, or even in a I forget the word, in a more physical form. It's in this part in which the classroom management it's also very, very important, because it's in this part in which students will do this activity individually. So the classroom management will be in solo work. So but the teacher will evaluate individually all the students, depending of their attention, their knowledge, concentration, and effort. And finally, the wrap-up is in this part in which students and teachers close the topic and the class. And for this part, they will finish the class discussing in both parts, in online or face-to-face. And just to close the class, teacher might ask them that call out some words that they remember from the vocabulary part, and basically that will the end of the lesson plan. Some problems that might be presented in the class at this part of the wrap-up might be again the internet connection, or even a student's mood, or the distraction of the students. So this is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.